All right, we live. So, how to go vegan? Okay, we're talking about how to go vegan because I didn't seen too many times people will go vegan, and so like so because some people follow me, so they know I'll be on a health tip, and they be like, "Yo, I went vegan. I stopped eating meat. I stopped eating meat." So I'll be like, "Okay, so what you eating? What's the rate eating for you now?" And they say, I have like a banana, uh, some oatmeal, and a salad, and that be it. I'm like, that's gonna be unsustainable. That might be cool at first if you, especially like if you overweight, because you probably could use a fast sometimes if you get super overweight. But we got a salad and a banana is not going to get you through. Okay, and that's a very common mistake I seem to see. It's either they go on that extreme, or they eat all of the vegan junk food and vegan processed food that America has to offer. They eating all of the impossible burgers and the fries and the chicken, the CHIKN nuggets and all that, with all the oil and all of that in there. We got to get out of that. Okay. So in this video, I'm gonna break down some tips on how to start and where the common mistakes are made. So the first tip that I like to give out. Oh, but hold on. But the reason why this is important is because when people go on when they want to start the vegan thing, especially when they got health issues, and then they fail at the diet just because they don't even know what to eat, and they just eating bananas and salads, and then after a while they're like, "Yo, I need to give me some real food." And there's been situations where people are, just because they gave up on trying to eat right, they go on and die in some cases. So pay close attention because we don't want to end up like that. So one of the main tips I like to get is always tell people to make a list of all of your favorite foods that just so happen to fit the criteria. And like I say, it's all about whole food vegan foods. All right, whole food and not an animal product. That's what it's about. So like for me, when I first started, I love fruit in general, right? So that was never an issue. I like beans a lot, and I used to like cornbread, even though that's not a thing, but we'll get to that in a second. And I love cashews and pistachios. So it turns out cashews and pistachios is actually a pretty filling and nutritious nuts to eat. It was times where I would have that for dinner, starting off. I still do it today just because I love it like that. But I don't have to say, dang, I can only eat cashews for dinner, nothing like that. But that's what I started it on. So when it was time to eat, I was never dreading or saying, yo, sure wish I could have this, or I sure wish I could have that, or man, I don't know how much longer I got to be stuck eating this celery. You know what I'm saying? It was food I was looking forward to eating. All right. I whip up my beans. And so for cornbread, I found a cool little replacement recipe that tasted just as good as corn. Well, I'm gonna say just as good, but it tasted sufficient. It was good enough to get the job done to replace the type of cornbread I was used to eating, made primarily with like flax seeds and things like that. Bomb. So we'll write your favorite foods. So then it's not such a chore or a dreading idea for when it's time to eat. Write down your favorite food so you can actually look forward to eating. And then from there, we expand, which leads to the next tip, which is always stay looking up new recipes. Like to this day, I still look up new recipes. Like you on YouTube. I don't watch half because YouTube got a lot of videos, but I probably watch about half of the vegan YouTube recipes out there. This is gonna keep things exciting. And then you'll also even learn like the mechanics of how to create certain things. Like now I know how to just make a sauce, create my own type of sauce. I don't have to depend on a recipe from there. I know the ingredients that's usually used, and then I could kind of, imagine what it may taste like if I add this certain spice to it, this certain herb to it, do it with this type of seed instead of that type of seed, or this type of nut instead of that type of nut, pause, things like that. Always stay looking up new recipes. All right. Also, kind of a tip within this tip, which kind of goes back to the first tip. Try to find. I know in my case it was new, so I'm gonna recommend that it be something new. Maybe it doesn't have to be, but try to find a new favorite dessert that fits the criteria. So like me, I stumbled upon this chia seed pudding recipe. Okay. So what I would do is every day when I know that when I stuck to the script, I made sure I didn't eat outside of the script or nothing like that. I kept it vegan. I kept the whole foods. I rewarded myself with some of the chia seed pudding at the end of the day. I genuinely liked the pudding. It was something to look forward to. We have to set boundaries. So we gotta be real honest with ourselves and set boundaries to be successful. And this can go with anything in life. You have to set up a standard like, yo, I know even relationships with anything, if once this person violates this boundary, it's unhealthy for me to continue. Or I know once I do this, violate some rules I set up for myself, then I know I shouldn't be participating in whatever else. I got to do something to make up for that. Set up the boundary, respect the boundary. That's going to help you a lot. Every night I would look forward to eating that chia seed pudding, and it's a rewiring of the brain, because we experience our senses like we don't taste with our tongue, we don't see with our eyes, we see with our brain, and we taste with our brains. So the food that we're transitioning to is going to help fuel us. It's going to help fuel our willpower. It's going to help our body and our brain get in sync with our body and knowing what's actually good for it. You feel what I'm saying? So like that's why today, like I would actually be like, yo, I'm in the mood for some spinach, or I'm in the mood for some broccoli. I ain't never been in the mood for no vegetable a day in my life before I started doing that. But like I say, we don't taste with our brain and things like that. I mean, we don't taste with our tongue, we taste with our brain. So as we rewire our brain, it becomes, because we're not logical, we're biological. So as we become biologically compatible with foods that we should be having, it makes it that much easier. So it's not a moment of you asserting your willpower. You're programming yourself to eat foods that you know that you should be eating, as opposed to not be eating. Like I can't even though I will, if I'm out and about, I may have some fries here and there just because they may not have nothing else. Like if I go to DJ's Dugout, they ain't got nothing to eat at DJ's Dugout but some celery or something. I'm like, yeah, just give me some fries. But I can't even finish the fries because I'm just not built like that no more. But back in the day, I tear some fries up. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, stay looking up new recipes and write down your favorite foods. Those are the first 2 tips. You know what I'm saying? And to kind of piggyback off of that, going into the next tip is learn about the new foods that's out there that we're not familiar with. And it's usually grains. The only grains we're familiar with is oatmeal and rice and anything that has white flour in it. When we think of grains, we think of spaghetti noodles and bread, things that are white flour based. We got to learn about the different grains out there. There's more grains out there than just whole wheat. There's amaranth, there's kamut, there's teff, there's spelt, there's all these different types of grain, barley. And then the more of these grains you learn about, now we got to learn, how to cook these grains. So that's going to go back to the learning new recipes tip. It's going to be always something new to learn. A whole new food experience is going to open up for you with all these new different grains and different nutrients that your body ain't used to having because you never had this type of grain before. Because it's just not, who just be saying, I got some amaranth come through. That's not that's not common. We know about rice and oatmeal. Besides that, all we know is white flour. And that's how the carbohydrate line came out there, because most of the carbs are based in white flour and other chemicals or refined sugars and things like that. Okay, so get familiar with different grains. I have all the grains in my meal plan, by the way, as well, if y'all wanted to cop that. And then with those grains, we have to learn how to cook those grains. So that's more new recipes you can learn, which keeps the whole experience exciting. All right. Now, the next tip, we're talking about being cost effective at this point, because some people be believing that, it's expensive to eat healthy. I can't afford to eat healthy. Beans, rice, potatoes, most cost effective shit out there. That's the vegan version of ramen noodles, even though I think ramen noodles is vegan too, but for them sure ain't healthy. Beans, rice, and potatoes, they all cheap and they last the grip. And I don't even want to get hung up on, because I always say, don't deal with the white potatoes and the russet potatoes. But we don't got to get that deep right now. Some of us, we just got to get on this whole food train first. And we could get to perfecting which vegetable and fruit and all that to get to later. All right. I know, because people be talking about, the broccoli is man-made and all that. We ain't got to get that deep right now for those who are, my bad, for those who are beginning. We just got to get rid of the processed foods and the junk foods and the excessive animal products. We got to get that out the way first. Then we can get into, well, let's stop this broccoli, let's stop the russet potatoes and GMO and all of that. Let's just get the basics in first. Beans, rice, and potatoes. Yo, we talking, you can for one person, you can spend less than $10 on beans, rice, and potatoes. That's gonna last you the week, maybe 2 weeks. Beans, and then you could cook it, not the potatoes, but you can cook the beans and the rice all on the same day. And throughout the day, so like what I do, I cook my rice and my beans on a Sunday. And then sometimes that may be the whole meal, but most of the times I'll go and I may already have it in the fridge. I'll go get whatever vegetables I want. I get the group of vegetables, and then I'll even make a sauce, and I will do that. And then sometimes I'll make a nacho out of that, or I'll make a burrito out of that, or a type of bowl or something like that. That's kind of typical for me. Even when I go out, that's kind of typical for me, just because it's very convenient. You know, I don't have to spend all day cooking. I did all that on a Sunday, so the rest is easy throughout the week. Whatever I got to prepare at that point takes less than 15 minutes, if that. Or the same thing when I'm out and about, you know, because another reason why it's difficult for us to eat healthy is because we don't have a lot of healthy options that's quick and fast when we're out. So when we go out to eat, when I'm out to eat and I just want to eat something quick, I usually go to a Mexican joint. I can't even go to Chipotle all the time because the lines be so long. You know what I'm saying? But I always will veganize some nachos or burrito or a bowl or something like that. But yeah, so if that last tip scared you, it's likely because you believe carbohydrates are the devil. We have to stop believing that, which is the last tip. Stop believing that carbohydrates are the devil. And or even including the diabetes, including those who have type 2 diabetes. Carbohydrates is not going to kill you. You're a carbohydrate yourself. Okay? When they came with that, they should put the word refined in front of it. The refined carbohydrates, yes, that's bad. Most of the carbohydrates that we're familiar with is some grains that we're familiar with, which are based in white flour, which is bad. Okay? We can leave that alone. But if you're going on a vegan diet, you're going to have to come to terms with you're going to be eating a whole lot of carbohydrates. A whole lot. I ate damn near 300 carbohydrates a day as I lost 90 pounds and reversed my pre-diabetic state and reversed my high blood pressure and reversed my high cholesterol. Carbohydrates. All right? All the real food on planet Earth has carbohydrates. All the real food. Everything that you can plant in the garden to eat all has carbohydrates. And I have other videos where I break down how obesity and diabetes really happen and telling people that it's just carbohydrates. It's almost even difficult to say it's a half-truth, but fine, we can call it a half-truth. So I suggest you watch that video that I have. Should be somewhere here on my YouTube or my website or something, or my Instagram. I don't know. It's on one of these platforms. All right. So I believe that concludes my tips. Write down your favorite foods. Let that be the foundation. Always be looking up new recipes. That's gonna keep everything fresh. And also the bonus tip is to reward yourself. Try to find some new type of vegan dessert, or maybe you have a dessert already that just so happens to be healthy or not damaging to reward yourself with at the end of the day. Okay. Beans, rice, and potatoes, very cost effective. And stop being scared of carbohydrates. I think it's another tip that I'm forgetting, but you can rewind the video for that. Okay. Very important. Good luck on the journey. Stop just eating salads. And you hear me say nothing about no salad the whole time. Okay. But let me say this too. Protein, because we got to make sure the protein, the vegan sources of protein is going to be your beans, your grains, and your nuts and your seeds. Okay. Especially like you're talking about something like pumpkins. Like a good way to get a lot of protein in is get you a bowl of oatmeal and put a couple handfuls of pumpkin seeds in there. Hella protein. Okay. The nut butters, peanut butters, almond butter, plenty protein. Bread, it's a type of bread. It's this bread that's kind of like made from lentils that I deal with. It's like 5 grams of protein a slice. And then I put like some peanut butter, some almond butter on that joint. I may even sprinkle some pumpkin seeds or some chia seeds or flaxseed or something like that. That's hella protein, right? It's easy to get your protein in, or in a smoothie or something like that. Putting in different nuts and seeds or in nut butters in smoothies or just period, wherever you can incorporate those in there, that's a lot of protein. And we're getting all the amino acids with that as well. Most of the nuts got all the amino acids you need. And we got to eat different varieties because it's not protein we're looking for. It's the amino acids. The amino acids is what make up the protein. So when we get, you may eat one plant that may be rich in this amino acid, but not that one, and then you eat a different type of plant that's rich in the amino acid that this plant didn't have. That the protein that your body will make for that is going to be much more efficient and stronger and less stress on the body when it puts it together. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Don't be malnourishing yourself, eating lettuce. I don't even eat lettuce. I don't even like salad. I don't eat salads. I eat food. When I go out to eat, somebody say what I had, they're like, oh, yo, that look kind of good. I could try that. I could do that. I ain't know that. I ain't know they could happen like that. You know, it's a spot called Fajitas I like to go to. Yeah, they like oil in it, but it's better than the other shit that you eat, because I really ain't big with the oil either. And if you're gonna cook in oil at home, do the grapeseed oil. That's the least damaging. Not healthy, but the least damaging. And if you're dealing with oil, period, like if you're dealing with the olive oil, because they say, what about olive oil? Olive oil can be cool, just don't cook it. Don't add the heat to the, when the heat comes to the oil, that's what really makes it bad for you. All right. So yeah, I think that's going to conclude this video. Those are the tips. freedomoverfailure.com. Follow me on all my platforms. It's the same as my YouTube name. And hopefully this helped. Run it back if you need to, if you came in late. And I'll check y'all on the next one.